Okay, everybody, welcome to another edition of Sauv Blanc TV, and I'm here with Dane Stark, and Dane is the owner and winemaker at Page Mill Winery in the Livermore Valley in California, and we're going to be talking a little bit about Sauv Blanc in Livermore Valley, Dane's program, and how we did with the 2014 harvest, and then how we're looking for 2015. So Dane, thanks for being here today, man.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Absolutely. So Dane, tell us a little bit about what your take was from the 2014 harvest with your Sauv Blanc, and maybe tell us a little bit about where you get it and all that good stuff.
Well, Page Mill Winery started making Sauvignon Blanc in '83, and we made it for several decades out of Paso Robles. We shifted in the early 2000s to making it completely out of Livermore Valley, and of all of those vintages, I think 2014 is probably my absolute favorite. Even though it was a drought year in California, and we had some problems with that, it was a very even growing season, and man, the fruit just came in beautiful, and it's looking really nice in tanks.
Awesome. So Dane, where do you guys do you grow the Sauv Blanc estate, or where do you source your grapes from for the wine?
We buy our Sauvignon Blanc from a vineyard called Guillemette on the eastern end of the Livermore Valley. It is tended and managed meticulously, and we harvest from two different blocks, which are two different clones that seem to provide some depth to the Sauvignon Blanc and really give me the style I'm looking for.
So with the 14, I mean, you're really stoked about the fruit, which is really cool. When you're going to go to make the 15, this is one of the things we want to talk about today, is that Sauvignon Blanc is one of those wines that very often people can find in the marketplace, fairly quickly, a few months after harvest. So tell us a little bit about what some of your plans are for the next vintage for 2015 with your 2014 fruit.
Well, so the 2014, like you said, it goes to market pretty quick, the Sauvignon Blanc does. And the reason is that its essence, its soul, if you will, is to be vibrant. Its sort of highest and best use is a vibrancy and a freshness that you really get out of turning it around using stainless steel. And there are some people who use oak on it, and that's certainly a style. But I look into the soul of that grape, and it says to me, I want to be fresh. I want to be vibrant. I want to be kind of not fruit driven, but really vivacious in the mouth. And the best way to attain that is to turn it around fairly quickly. We get it in tanks, we get it racked off the lees, and then we get it stable, and we'll have it in bottles by March and in time for the summer, 2015 summer. And that's really how I see the really highest quality and the character of that grape coming through. I used to make, for years, I made it in barrels. I made it sur lees. I've tried it, the Chardonnay style, and I'm really happy with the way that grape presents itself when you do a quick turnaround time. So we harvested in September. We were done with fermentation by end of October. Very cold. We had it racked before the beginning of December. We had it stabilized, and now we're going to go through cold stability in the next month or two, and we'll have it prepped for bottling. And like I said, it'll go into bottles in March.
Excellent. So people here are really clear on what we're talking about. So you do 100% stainless steel, no lees contact, which is a nice way of saying the dead fermented material. So you rack it off right away, and you're going to end up then with a really crisp, clean, refreshing style, I would imagine, with a good, nice, balanced acidity. I mean, essentially that's what you're aiming for?
Exactly. Yeah, I really like that bright acidity, the thing that wakes you up, that's on the side of the palate, and it really cleanses the palate. I mean, you think of a really nice cheese or an oyster or something like that, and that freshness that comes through. I think that's the essence I'm trying to bring out of Sauvignon Blanc.
Nice. Well, and Dane, do me a favor. Tell me a little bit about, and there's other stuff that we've put out with Summertime in a Glass talking about this, but so we won't go into it now. But Livermore Valley, of course, is the historic home of Sauvignon Blanc in the United States, going back to the 19th century. And one of the things I think about Livermore that's very interesting is it's the oldest commercial wine producing region in California. But a lot of people outside of California or the area aren't familiar with Livermore because it's a lot of small wineries and some other factors involved. So where I'm going with this, I think a lot of people haven't tasted Sauvignon Blanc from the Livermore Valley before, and maybe with yours in mind in particular, what are some of the typical sort of flavor profiles, aroma that you get from a Sauv Blanc in the Livermore Valley?
I think that they're not super different from other regions, but like I said, I was producing from other regions, and I fell in love with the particularity of the Livermore Valley Sauvignon Blanc. It's got a beautiful lemon zest, you know, a real nice undertone of nuttiness and a freshness on the palate that I just haven't seen from other appellations. I think that the region, it's a bit of a combination between a really hot and warm region with a cooling effect. Livermore Valley is just east of San Francisco, and during the summer when it's hot, the valley air lifts and it pulls the fog in off the ocean, and that rolls over the Berkeley Hills and it cools our appellation off very quickly at night. And there's a reason that on the Altamont Pass there are windmills. It's because it gets windy, and the Sauvignon Blanc seems to really love this appellation for creating that sort of singularity of purpose and that clarity of flavor. Just a little bit of nuttiness, and it's got that lemon zest and some fruit to it.
Right, and what I think you get in Livermore, what you're talking about here, is that nice diurnal swing where you get the nice warm temperatures during the day, and then you get those, like you just said, those really nice cooling temperatures that help with the acidity and other factors at night. And every time I've ever tasted a well-made Sauv Blanc from Livermore, it's always a very well-balanced, as you said, wine. Well, and one other question about that, too. I think it seems that the grape maybe is being, I don't want to say rediscovered in Livermore because I don't think that that's a fair characterization, but do you find that more and more people are embracing the grape and in the area and starting to make it, perhaps kind of center it a little bit more as part of their wine programs?
You know, I do. You're also experiencing a real renaissance in the valley. When we arrived here in 2004, we were winery number 24, and now there are 58 wineries. So there are a lot more wineries, a lot more people trying Sauvignon Blanc as a varietal, and it's experiencing a renaissance in the same way. It's got a real long-standing tradition in the valley, and it really is ideal for this valley as a varietal.
Great. Well, Dane, so you mentioned the wine will be out in the summer. We're looking at July or so, something like that. Is that the goal?
Yeah, we'll get it in bottles in March, and many wines suffer from bottle shock. Sauvignon Blanc is typically not one. In my experience, a release even within a month is not a problem for Sauvignon Blanc. So you can expect to see it, mid-end April.
Great. Well, Dane, do me a favor. Tell people how they can come see you, where they can find you on the web, a little bit about the tasting room. You guys redid your tasting room, I think it was about 3-4 years ago, maybe a little longer. It's a beautiful spot, and love to have people come out and check you out.
Yeah, thanks. We're right on the wine trail in Livermore Valley. We moved here in 2004, and since then we've been doing quite a number of improvements, one of which is the tasting room, as you said, 4 years ago. So we've got a lovely place to hang out and taste the wines. We're at 1960 South Livermore Avenue, and we're right on the wine trail in Livermore Valley. There's 10 or 15 wineries just right on that main drag, Tesla Road. You can find us on the web at www.pagemillwinery.com. And there's the info.
Great. And Dane, what are the tasting room hours real quick for folks?
Tasting room is open Thursday through Monday, noon to 4:30 each and every day.
Excellent. Well, great. Dane, I'd like to thank you very much for being here today and talking a little bit about Sauv Blanc in Livermore, and we're looking forward to the 2015, man. Thanks a lot.
You bet. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Cool. Take care. All right, folks. Yeah, thanks, man. That was another edition of Sauv Blanc TV. So go check out Page Mill Winery. Go see Dane. It's a really great program. It's really one of the best programs in the Livermore Valley, and it's definitely worth checking out. So cheers, y'all.